Let's start with an uplifting story, shall we? Yes, a man trying to break into somebody's home was shot dead. We could just end it there because I think that's just a great story in and of itself. But it was a 12-year-old boy defending his mother. I hate that this situation happened, but then at the same time, this kid fucking rules. A 12-year-old boy in Louisiana fatally shot an armed home intruder who was threatening the boy's mother, according to the local sheriff's office. East Feliciana Parish Sheriff Jeffrey Travis said in a statement that his office received a report at the shooting at 5807 Winchester Lane, ironically named, east of Clinton, around 7:21 a.m. on June 30th. A person forced entry into the home and had a gun and at some point was fatally shot by a resident, the statement said. Okay, seems pretty cut and dry. The sheriff's office later shared a news report on Facebook page confirming that a 12-year-old boy had shot Brad LeBlanc, 32, during the incident. Upon further investigation, 2 others were found to be involved in the home invasion, Jonathan Barker and Jennifer Bond, both of whom were arrested and booked into East Feliciana Parish Prison. Thank God little John McClane didn't have his way with them. Per the sheriff's statement, Barker was charged with second-degree murder, principal to aggravated burglary, and principal to aggravated kidnapping. Bond was charged for accessory after the fact. Because, of course, the justice system, once again, is not fair, and women get off a whole hell of a lot easier. Oh no, I was just along for the ride. Yeah, no, you fucking broke into their house as well, you fucking bitch. But I said this was an uplifting story. This isn't going to be a rant about the justice system. At this time, the East Feliciana Sheriff's Office has no evidence, whether it be physical evidence at the scene or the testimony of the witness, that would incriminate the 12-year-old boy, and therefore, at this time, we have no plans to bring charges against a 12-year-old child. Yay. Good. Stand your ground. Be a total fucking badass. I just wish you would have made 2 more shots, kid. Oh well, better luck next time. And speaking of children doing naughty things, Jen Psaki's words, not mine. This is real. This is real. Really corrupt as well. Hunter Biden has the right to sell artwork to anonymous buyers for $500,000. We talked about this very legitimate and 100% stand-up art gallery that he was going to be having. And he expected to fetch a whole bunch of money because of not his name recognition, because it is some of the most striking and spectacular modern art that this very prestigious and definitely not well connected to the Chinese government art dealer was saying. No, has nothing to do with that. Nothing sus going on here. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki stated Friday that Hunter Biden has the right to pursue an artistic career by selling artwork to an anonymous buyer for as much as $500,000, despite concerns that Hunter Biden is still invested in CCP-linked firms. Once again, nothing sus going on here, doesn't scream money laundering, but hey, what do I know? I can tell you that after careful consideration, a system has been established that allows for Hunter Biden to work in his profession within reasonable safeguards. Psaki stated, he has the right to pursue an artistic career just like any child. Any child of the president has the right to pursue a career. Yeah, you're not supposed to fucking benefit off the office of the president. But hey, this is something that all of these same screeching harpies were accusing the Trump family of doing, even though Trump lost a hell of a lot of money. His family took a big fucking hit. How many clothing lines were dropped from like Target and a whole bunch of big box stores for Ivanka? But then at the same time, you have Kamala Harris's stepdaughter. I'll probably confuse the two because I don't really care, benefiting off of her likeness and being told, yeah, you can't do that, but then continuing to do it as well. And then you got her John Lennon lookalike niece who gets a modeling contract out of nowhere based on no prior experience. And then Hunter Biden selling fucking artwork, which he just took up after he got into recovery not that long ago, for $500,000. questions, but hey, he's just a child. Unbelievable. All interactions regarding the selling of art and setting of prices will be handled by professional gallerists adhering to the highest industry standards. Really, bro? And any offer out of the normal course will be rejected out of hands, and the gallerists will not share information about buyers or prospective buyers, including Hunter Biden or the administration. Is it really corruption if they come out and just admit to it? But because nobody can really fight against this, is you're just allowed to rub your face in it? This is so clearly corrupt, okay? Like, I'm no art snob, okay? I got a few pictures. I got a couple of things that I like around here that you could conceivably call art, but I could no way properly critique any art that Hunter Biden puts out there. But in the $500,000 range, like, you're talking about some of the best works of art of all time, stuff of historical value. There's no way to spin this that doesn't look corrupt as fuck. Breitbart News reported that Joe Biden's child is working with Soho art dealer Georges Burgess, who has a link to China himself. Oh my God, I'm just as shocked as you guys. But yeah, we'll retell this little story. Burgess is holding an art exhibit in the fall where Hunter's art is expected to sell from anywhere between $75,000 and $500,000. Who would have thought he would have got the maximum if they would have just set the art there? Well, it's well within the parameters that the art dealer, who's definitely not got any weird connections, he would put as the top end. No, who could have seen that coming? The entire venture has prompted ethics concerns, particularly given Hunter's past works, as his father served as vice president, striking deals with Chinese officials and raking in tens of thousands of dollars per month on the board of Burisma, close to millions actually, a Ukrainian oligarch-owned oil and gas company, despite having no experience in the energy sector, doing the exact same thing now in the art sector. And this one is a little bit more subjective, so it's harder to pin him down on this. His father would later brag about threatening to withhold aid from Ukraine unless officials fired the prosecutor conducting the corrupt investigation into Burisma. We've already gone down that rabbit hole, but instead of making the transactions more apparent or transparent and open, the White House is hoping to strike a deal to make buyers of Hunter Biden's artwork, which is expected to sell for up to $500,000, anonymous. Wow! Right in front of your face, practically holding up the documents saying there's nothing you can do about this. According to the Washington Post article on Thursday, Burgess would set the prices for the artwork and withhold all records, including potential bidders and final buyers. The owner, George Burgess, has also agreed to reject any offer that he deems suspicious, sure bro, or that comes in over the asking price, according to people familiar with the agreement. Breitbart News senior contributor of Profiles in the Corruption, author Peter Schweitzer, designated the proposal as an utterly absurd solution. The only way to address these issues is with greater transparency, not less. Well, that sure is a nice hope, but that's not something you're getting out of the Biden administration. Instead, you're getting lists. Oh yes, not the lists that you'd hope for, making sure that those evil people that breached the Capitol and dropped those water bottles for Andy Kim to pick up, make sure that they're all on a list forever. That definitely won't be weaponized going into the future, because they're just as terrifying as Muhammad Atta, so you need to make sure that they're properly cataloged and not lost to history, because we should never forget. At least the media won't let you forget. Maybe if 9/11 is never forget, I think January 6th is probably going to be we won't let you forget. And this really does just feed into the narrative of white supremacy being the most dangerous threat to American society. Well, I guess you can run with that claim if you aren't going to be prosecuting any other crime, I guess. Like, if you don't look at the actual numbers, sure, you can make up whatever narrative you want, and if you're only going to be making lists of people who broke into the Capitol building on one day, as opposed to a huge swath of people across some of the largest cities in North America for an entire year, then yeah, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. But here's some shit that's actually going to be costing taxpayer money. Federal government paying $6.1 million to create database for Capitol riot prosecutions. Why? Why does there need to be a special database for this? Why? We know why. Anyways, the Department of Justice has committed to paying over $6 million to a multinational firm to create a database to host the reams of data prosecutors are gathering in cases against accused participants in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Delonte Financial Advisory Services. You see, it's all right when Democrats hire third-party firms because it's for their democracy. But when you're talking about democracy, not their democracy, not our democracy, like say, oh, I don't know, the Arizona, Maricopa County, be more specific, that audit there. Yeah, no, that's just a gun for hire. But no, Democrats do it, and it's K. Was contracted in late May to help develop the database, and government has started transferring a large volume of materials, including tens of thousands of records, from the U.S. Capitol Police. Prosecutors said in a court filing this week. But again, they still want to investigate what happened at the Capitol riot, even though they have all the information that they're ever going to glean from this. Okay. Following the Capitol breach, the United States recognized, due to the nature and volume of materials being collected unnecessarily, if you want to talk about real waste, here you go. The government would require the use of an outside contractor who could provide litigation technology support services to include highly technical and specialized data and document processing and review capabilities. Oh, like the name of the officer who actually shot and killed the only person who died at the scene that day? No, that didn't make the travel. Maybe that's probably still just getting lost in the lines, technical error. The government will work with with Delonte in the process, review and produce materials reviewed to the breach, using various tools to redact certain personal information. I'm sure you're going to take super close care of this stuff because it's your evil white supremacy groups. This government is so fucking corrupt, and we're only, a shade under 6 months in? It's going to get worse before it gets better. I'd imagine shit is going to get buck fucking wild before the midterms and all that type of stuff. Just wait for the fucking primaries to start going on. Just wait for the fucking election cycle to actually kick in. This is the quiet time right now, believe it or not, because it's going to get darker before it gets brighter. But with that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. We'll catch y'all later.